This will be the last time you look for a new trading strategy in order to succeed in the markets, because all of those strategies are going to fail quickly. Why? Because the market is never identical to your backtesting. The conditions are never going to be the same. And once you realize that, you will realize that whatever strategy you have is completely useless. And I'm going to explain what you should be doing instead of having a trading strategy in order to succeed in this game in the long run. But first, I want to tell you about this book that I'm currently reading. And I haven't read that much of it yet, but one of the interesting topics Joe Dispenza talks about in this book is how to let go of your past. A lot of people are carrying their past with them into trading, and it could be past from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or before you remember, or it could just be revenge trading from last week. But whatever happened in the past has no relevance to the present or even the future. The market doesn't remember last week's price action. That's why our trading strategy in itself is completely useless, even though it may have worked in backtesting. It doesn't matter because the market doesn't have memory. The market reflects trends. And if the market is in this bullish trend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, then obviously you have to be trading with the trend and vice versa. If it's consolidating, you necessarily doesn't want to be trading, you just want to observe. That's actually how a lot of people lose, just from consolidation. And they look back at the whole session and they realize there was nothing to trade. And I don't want to hear from any of my followers blaming that it was choppy price action. I know that even some of the largest trading people out there, after a session, complain about choppy price action as if they couldn't predict that or observe that before pressing buy or sell. That in itself is ridiculous, and I won't accept that from any of my followers. I want every one of my followers to be trading with the trend at the edges of the market, either a clean reversal or a continuation trade at the peak of the swing high or swing low. It's that simple, guys. At that point, you just crack the code to the market and you just know when it's favorable conditions to change, to trade, or if you should just stay on the sidelines. But yet most people aren't able to do simple stuff like this. If you see a trend on higher time frames, in Euro USD for example, you see that the market is moving bearish on the 1 hour or 4 hour with these larger swings, and you know that the previous swing on that 1 hour or 4 hour should be respected if we're in a bearish trend, then it's so easy to just place a trade with the trend and target the lows. Yet most people can't do something as simple as that. And the way most people screw this up is by simply being in the wrong state of mind. Because you may have a good period mentally where you're backtesting, where you get in sync with the market in flow, and you feel like this is going smooth. But for whatever reason, you let your mindset shift or drift away because whatever. Because when you're backtesting, you're in fairy tale land, but when you are in the live markets, it's something completely different. You may be driving to the grocery store, you may be doing something completely different, yet you let that change in your mindset affect you. And the thing is, if you constantly feel like you don't have the right energy to be trading in this market, it's actually because you are in the wrong state of mind. And like, you have to read about this stuff. Like, I'm reading all of the books you can see here. Like, I'm stacking my phone on these books. Like, I'm reading all of these books in order to actually learn about the mind and how to operate properly, because without that kind of knowledge, you will never succeed in this market. But what I am going to tell you guys is that the strategy in itself, I could give you the strategy here and now, and I can tell you how to apply it. I'm even doing so in my Discord, which is linked in the bio, where I go over my strategy and I give live market analysis every single day. And I just tell you which days are high probability, which days are consolidation, what the trend is, where I expect price to go. And it's so simple. Yet a lot of people overcomplicate everything in trading. But the truth is, you don't get a setup every single day. And some weeks are just boring. Like, it's designed that way so that people get bored, people get frustrated, and they just quit. Like, they quit following their strategy, or not strategy, but system, and they blow everything. That's it. That's why, if you're really ambitious, you shouldn't only be focusing on trading either way. You should trade, and then you should focus on something else as well. Because trading in itself is no guarantee. That's why I say the past doesn't affect the future that much. You can be making a lot of money in trading. Let's say you make 20K, 30K this month. Imagine that, getting that into your bank account. Yet it doesn't matter that much in the long run, because you have no guarantee of future success. And you will be stressed out either way, and you're going to feel like, am I going to make this? Like, this is insane. Like, can I make this the next month? Like, I want to keep making this, and then you're going to fail. And like, you should, like, a lot of people I've spoken to who make a lot of money in trading, like, they tell me it's so boring. Like, they may take 2 trades that particular week sometimes, and it's so boring, they don't feel anything. And they tell me in order to stay mentally stable, they have to run other businesses as well. Like, they do whatever else they can do just to, like, because we are really ambitious people. We don't just like to sit there, press a button and wait, and that's it for the week. Like, you accomplish nothing else. Like, it's not just about the assets, the money, the resources. It's about developing yourself, actually feeling like you accomplished something. And then you couldn't care less about the result from trading that week. You shouldn't be able to blow that much capital in 1 week either. So you're just trading the way you're supposed to. And then when you're done, you put away the charts and you realize that you have other businesses as well. And that's how you actually build confidence, because you have to completely let go of your ego in order to sustain your profitability in trading. Because if you succeed in trading, like, you can't bring your ego into it. Like, it's too much risk, it's too much capital to mix up your ego inside that as well. Like, you're only here to make that percentage, and that's it. It doesn't care, like, the market doesn't care about your fancy strategy or whatever, how many times you've back tested this week. It only cares about you doing what you're supposed to. Let's say you just get 2% from the market that week. It doesn't matter if it's not the most fancy strategy. Like, you just traded with the trend and you got 1 to 2 simple stuff, and that was that for the week. It has nothing to do with your ego or feeling entitled or special or unique, because that's not how the market works. And especially for a lot of ambitious, creative people, you need to focus on something else as well. So please don't make this stuff more complicated than it needs to be. And I can promise you that if you have the right mindset, you will actually feel better about yourself by following the plan rather than just free flowing and doing stupid mistakes. No matter if you win or lose, but if you're doing what you're supposed to, you're not going to lose that much either way. Funny how that works.